Hello everybody. It's been a long time since my last video, so I decided to just pop the old video camera out and make another video. I think it's been a month and a half or 6 weeks maybe since my last video, and a lot has happened since then. This video is probably going to be pretty long, but I am going to kind of just go over all the things I've acquired since then, if I can remember half of them, as well as talk about some other things like my new TV and such. So, to start off, I'll start off with the computer stuff first. I'll move on to the TV, which is much more interesting later. Okay, so as with my last video, I had my Dell PowerEdge 2600 server sitting here, and I had properly configured the server settings and all that stuff, so I had a 24/7 Garry's Mod Minecraft server running. But just weren't open to the internet yet. And I moved it down to the basement of my house, or rather my parents' house, because that way I can hook up to the first router directly. Since I have a dual router setup, this is not my house, so this router is actually, that router over there feeds a connection to this entire building, and that is the router, and that is plugged in directly behind the first router in the basement. So I went ahead and set up the PowerEdge, but my router doesn't really want to port forward correctly, and I spent several hours trying to troubleshoot it, but I decided just screw it because I'm going to be upgrading internet soon anyway, hopefully, at which point I'll get a new router that doesn't have port forwarding problems. I could go more into detail, but I'm not going to. So yeah. And then in the last week since then, I've got a bunch of computers here and there. I'm just going to start mentioning them. I'm not really going to mention when I got them. I might, but I'll probably just mention that I got them. Got this Dell Dimension 8400 3 or 4 weeks ago. I also got another 8400 along with it a week or two earlier than that. But I only had one hard drive for the two of them and limited parts, so I allocated all those parts to the other computer, which has a case in much better condition. And I set up that 8400, the 80 gig SATA hard drive and all that good stuff, and actually finished setting up a week or two ago, and I listed it today and actually sold for $85, I think, within an hour or two of me selling and listing it, so that was nice. And today's a Saturday, so I'm going to go ahead and ship it on Monday, because the post office is closed until Monday. So I got this thing. It's a Sony Vaio VGC RB42G. Yeah, 3 GHz hyper-threading Pentium 4, needs a SATA hard drive. Let's see. I think I got this about 4 weeks ago. I'm going to go into quick detail on this one. PCI Express slot to either DDR or DDR2 memory slots. CD DVD drives, you know. Doesn't look like a bad machine. Just a power supply though, no big deal. I can put one in that. Just needs a hard drive, and I'm low on SATA hard drives. I also got that beast. It doesn't look that fancy from here, but trust me, it is. Actually, it wasn't super fancy, but I'm just going to go in general detail about this thing. So, I think I got this 2 weeks ago. Okay, it's a custom-built PC. It has a side panel on it with a red... actually, no, does it? Jeez, I don't know where I put the side panel. I can't remember. I think it has a side fan. But, yeah, it's pretty good. This motherboard supports Intel Core 2, anything from a Pentium 4 to an Intel Core 2 Quad, takes DDR2 memory up to 800 MHz, PCI Express. So yeah, that's some pretty good stuff. And the parts actually had in it was like a 3.2 GHz Pentium 4 hyper-threading, which is kind of bottleneck considering it has an NVIDIA GeForce 8800 GS 384 megabyte graphics card. And this thing works, by the way. I think it had a gig or two of DDR2 memory in it. You know, it's kind of a bottleneck. You know, with this motherboard that can support Core 2 quads or Core 2 duos or Pentium dual core, at the very least, you know, they had Pentium 4 in it. And with that video card, it was kind of bottlenecked. So I went ahead and took the best CPU I had. I have a Dell Dimension E520, which is a 2.13 GHz Core 2 duo, and popped it in this thing. And I'm going to put the a spare 1.83 or 1.86 GHz in that thing. And I'm almost out of battery power, so I'm going to have to switch over to my phone recording soon, since I am using the camcorder. But yeah, I'm going to load Windows 7, I think it's Professional, but it's Enterprise Edition on this thing, since I think it has a code for it. Yes, it has a code for it on it. And I do have the installation CD. It's only 32-bit though. If it were 64-bit, I'd use it to upgrade either that computer, my primary gaming PC. So, but it's not 64-bit. So I'm probably gonna put 2 or 3 gigs of memory in this thing and load Windows 7 on it. At which point it'll be worth $200 or $300, which will be nice, considering I didn't spend any money on it. What else? This is a custom-built desktop over here that I actually had sitting next to this pellet stove for the longest time, for several months. Just never got to finish setting it up. Those are its specs, very self-explanatory. I should probably put 2 gigs of RAM in it though, rather than 1.5, but anyway. Yeah, I had started to set it up, but I just tossed it to the side for a second and never really came back to it for a while, so yeah. What else? Oh, 2 weeks ago I got this Dell Dimension 8200, but I haven't done anything with it. It's literally been sitting on this couch ever since. The back's bent a little bit. I think it has 256 megs of RD RAM. No hard drive. You know, it's not worth a whole lot of money. It has a wireless card in it though, but I'll probably, put it together at some point and get a power supply for it. Because the old one was all bent out of shape. The case was ripped apart and stuff. Since this backing's a bit bent, the power supply, the bottom portion and the upper portion were ripped apart essentially. So I'm gonna have to get a new power supply for that, which I should have. This computer's only worth $30 max, but if I put an hour or two of work into it, it might be worth it. Yeah, this is a Dell Dimension 3100 out of that box. I think I got this since my last video. It had an 80GB SATA hard drive in it, but I put that in the Dell Dimension 8400. I mentioned it a little while ago. And I think this thing works. It's got a good gig or two of DDR2 memory, Pentium 4 3.2 GHz hyper-threading or something like that. Either that or Pentium D, I don't know. But I haven't worked with it since there's really no point because I don't have a hard drive for it. But I really should take this thing, make sure it works, and get all the dust out of it, and file it away, saying it needs a hard drive, because it is kind of a mess. But I haven't been working here much because 8 days ago my internship ended. I was working full time, leave 7 a.m. in the morning and get back at 6 p.m. I was working 8-hour days in the city doing OASIS, which is infrastructure, data architecture services, database stuff. I mentioned that in my previous video, I think, but it was a good time, good internship. I'm probably going to go back there next summer since I got a recommendation. It's at Travelers Insurance in Hartford, but so that's my excuse for not really making a whole lot of videos and doing all that stuff since I've been busy. I just started school this past week on Tuesday, and today is Saturday, so I've done 4 days of school, so I've been busy with that as well, so I've had tons of time to devote to this. I don't think I mentioned this last time. I think I've got it since then. It's a motherboard I pulled out of some custom case or something I got. I don't even know. I don't even know if I got this motherboard in a case or not. I think I did. I cannot for the life of me remember why I pulled it out of that case though. I think I put like a... Jeez, what did I put in? I can't even remember. I think I might have put a Core 2 Duo in this thing. No, I think I put a Pentium 4 just for testing. But it works. But I think I'm going to sell it separately. Either that or put it in a case like that one down there and sell it as a custom built PC, but I can't remember what it supports. I think it supports Core 2 Duos and Quads. It's got PCI Express slot and takes DDR2 memory like 800 MHz, so it's pretty much the same motherboard as the one in this PC. Well, not the same obviously, it's not as high end, but it'll be pretty nice. Probably squeeze $60 out of it just by selling the motherboard, which I might do since it's much more time efficient to do that versus setting up an entire computer and getting a little bit more out of it than that. Because that way you need, probably want to put a video card in it and put up some memory and a good CPU and all that, which I may or may not have lying around. Let's see. I know I've got much more than this since then. I think I mentioned that in my last video, that stupid computer I haven't processed yet. I know I've got more than that. Selling has been slow. I've only sold a handful of items in the past couple months, so really not a whole lot there. Scraps piling up, gonna have to get rid of that sometime soon, but I think that's pretty much it for the stuff that I have to mention, unless anything over here jogs my memory. I don't think any of this stuff is new. Working. Oh, I got Delta Dimension 2400 several weeks ago. Set that up, no big deal. I think that 3100 might have. No, that was there always. Custom built. Label fell off it. Which one's this? Oh, it's that one. Whatever. I'll have to find a label for it, maybe put a new one on it and sell it. New AC unit. Got that a while ago. Not a lot to mention here. I think I'm going to move on and talk about the more interesting things now. I'm probably missing a couple computers. I am. Such as this Dell. I think it's a Inspiron 1100 or something. Haven't tested it out. Someone gave this to me over a month ago. Yep, Inspiron 1100. I think it has a Celeron on it, probably around 2.4 gigahertz Celeron, maybe 512 megs DDR400 memory. No big deal. Has the power supply. I think it works. Just haven't really checked it out yet, since I haven't had time / have been too lazy. What? Okay. How's that for random input? Anyway. So that's it. Okay, to the TV. This is an LG. Oh, I forgot the model number. Oh man, that's bad. I think it's an LS 5700 and 5700 LS. God damn it. TV. Hold on. Let's talk about it while I look at my Amazon purchase history to get the model number for you guys. Not that it really matters that much, but it's a 55-inch TV, 120 hertz. Works pretty nice. And I could go into pretty deep detail on this, talking about my setup and everything, and why I have that audio video control center over there behind that candle. Why I have that processing all the audio, but I think I'll talk a little bit about that, but mostly about what I have hooked up to it. So I have my Xbox hooked up to it. That's interesting. Anyway, GameCube, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. I did have an NES, but my brother went back to, damn it. There's a little bit of, never mind. My brother went back to college yesterday, actually today he went back. He took the NES with him, so, you know, he can have that. I don't really care, I didn't use it anyway. Though it's not his now, it is still mine, technically, but I'm letting him have it. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. You know, it's a TV. It doesn't have 3D capability. I don't really care about that. It cost me $900 on Amazon. Let's see, I'm grabbing the model number right now. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to multitask here. It's a pretty nice TV. It's a 55 LS 5700. That is the model number. 1080p, of course. I could have got a 4K for about $10,000, but you know, that's not really worth the money. Let's go back here. Stupid controller on. So it's pretty nice. I went to set it up, and I've got surround sound here. I've got 5.1 surround sound speakers, one there, one in the center that's actually behind the TV. Got a speaker back there and two behind me. But I unfortunately found that this TV does not do surround sound through the optical ARC cable. Okay, because before, and for those of you who are completely unfamiliar with this, you may not understand, but I had an audio control center there as a standard. Some new Blu-ray players actually have audio control centers built into them, but I didn't have that. I just had an audio control center right there, and I just had an optical ARC going from the TV to the control center, and the control center would output the surround sound directly to the speakers. Okay, but I found that this stupid TV takes the surround sound input from whatever other device I have, like the Xbox, okay, and it cuts out the surround sound and makes it stereo through the ARC, so I wasn't getting surround sound out of this TV, and that kind of pissed me off. It's kind of basic functionality, but I guess they decided not to do that. So thankfully, I just so happened to have this $250 audio video control center I bought for inside the house about 6 months ago for my parents. But we never used the TV inside anyway, so I decided might as well bring this thing out here, and instead of switching the channels, sorry about that, just ran out of camera charge, but as I was saying, instead of switching the channels or the input from the TV, I now switch it from the video control center. Okay, so instead of the Xbox being plugged into the TV and the TV passing out its stupid stereo to the surround sound and wasting the surround sound speakers, I have all the other devices like the Xbox plugged directly into the video control center, and the video control center only passes on the video to the TV and then passes on the audio directly from the control center to the speakers. And that actually is pretty convenient for me. It's not that inconvenient. But my problem is that video control center doesn't have video up conversion, meaning that I can't plug in a composite device like my GameCube to this thing and output HDMI to the TV. So I have to have a separate composite video output to the TV. So it makes it complicated. So right now, if I wanted to turn my GameCube on and play it, I have to turn the GameCube on, have to switch the video control center to the composite output into the composite input, and then change the input on the TV to the composite input. Okay, and it's doable. Kind of a pain in the ass, but it's doable. But the problem with that is that this stupid TV, it's supposed to be a smart TV, it turns the internal TV speakers on and off randomly when we switch the input channels. So I'd switch to the composite, and it's supposed to use the TV speakers. What the fuck is it doing? It's supposed to use the TV speakers, okay, but because the GameCube wouldn't be hooked up to surround sound necessarily, or does it? I don't know. But either way, I would switch to the composite input, switch back to the HDMI input to play Xbox, and then the TV speakers would turn themselves back on for no goddamn reason. Problem with that is that, I already have surround sound, so I don't want surround sound and the TV speakers playing because that would put too much emphasis on the front speakers, and that's not okay with me. So, it's just little stupid problems I have to go around fixing that I have not done yet, but I will do eventually. I don't think it was necessary for me to go into that deep of detail on that, but I did. So yeah, there are just little kinks in the works that need to be worked out, but I don't even use the GameCube or PlayStations either way, so, it doesn't really matter. I also got my PC hooked up into the TV, which is pretty nice. I have HDMI going right actually to the control center and into the TV, and that's even surround sound and all that stuff, which is nice. Problem is, though, I think the only reason this Xbox does that is because plasma screens have images frozen to them, so it just kind of does random crap every now and then to keep the image from being frozen in, but this is an LED LCD, so it doesn't matter. But it just did that because this stupid thing thought I just said Xbox. Yeah, there you go. It thought I said that, even though I didn't. The Kinect is stupid as hell. It doesn't even recognize what you're saying. Like, Xbox video. Oh, it actually did it. Wow. I am impressed. 99% of the time, it just doesn't work. So, yeah. But as I was saying, there's a problem with the PC to the TV, which is that these TVs do a lot of post-processing no matter what. You can turn it down, but you can't turn the post-processing completely off. And what that does is it makes the image look nicer, yeah, but it also puts a lot of delay in the input signal. So there's a delay in the audio and video. And it resyncs the audio and video since it takes less time to process the audio than the video. So it's not out of sync or anything. But the problem is that, unfortunately, there's a bit of a delay. So I'd move the mouse on my PC, and it would take maybe 100 milliseconds or so to move it on the TV, and that's a decent amount of lag. That lag applies to the Xbox as well, but I just didn't notice it as much since I'm using a controller. I mean, it's playable, but if I want to play games for my PC on my TV, it's not really worth it with the mouse because I notice the lag so much, like the 80, 100 milliseconds of lag so much. Whereas with the Xbox controller, you don't even notice it. So what's the big deal? But it doesn't really matter anyway. I mean, when I bought this thing, I was thinking of all the possibilities and all these things I can do with it. I realized, doesn't really matter. You know, I don't really need to use my stupid GameCube with this. I don't really need to play games for my PC on it. You know, it works fine with just the Xbox and my currently non-existent Blu-ray player. So, you know, I mean, if I wanted to pay $2,000 or something like that, I could get one with all the little extra non-inconveniencies, like surround sound ARC, but you know. And I used to have a Blu-ray player here on this keyboard, but it broke. This is a other Blu-ray player I got from the recycling center I constantly talk about. But ironically enough, it plays DVDs fine, but it does not play Blu-rays. I don't know what's up with that. So I'm just gonna throw this thing out as soon as I get a replacement for it. I'll probably spend $100 or $200 on a Blu-ray player, but it doesn't suck. It actually plays Blu-rays. So, and it's a nice Blu-ray player. Someone throwing it out. I mean, it has Ethernet input. It has Netflix and all that stuff built into it. I was gonna buy a remote for it since I don't have one, until I figured out that it doesn't work with Blu-rays. I'm glad I tested that functionality before I went ahead and buy a remote for it. So, you know, well, that's enough of my TV, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking about getting the 47-inch, but I'm glad I got the 55. It's only $150 more, and you know, it was worth it. My brother decided to pay the difference for me, since I said, okay, I'll either pay $750 for a 47, or you can pay, or you can pitch in 150, and we can get the 55. I can afford the 55 by myself. In fact, right now I could buy, geez, I could buy 5 of these TVs right now if I want to do it with my money. But you know, I don't want to spend more money than I need to. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Oh, I know where that motherboard came from. I got an HP Pavilion desktop that had a banged up case and everything. What am I missing? Sorry, someone just tried calling me, so it kicked me out of the video. But yes, that motherboard came out of an HP Pavilion. Okay. Wow, I completely forgot to mention this thing. This is a Power Mac G5 from 2005. I got it today, in fact. It had a 160 and a 500 gigabyte set of hard drives in it, but the 500 gigabyte, when I pulled the SATA connector off, it promptly pulled the little plastic underlying piece that goes under the pins off with it, so that hard drive is probably busted now. But the 160 still works. I'm wiping it right now to put in this thing and install iOS 10.5, not iOS, OS 10.5 on it. It's got dual processors. It's got two gigahertz. I think they're single core PowerPC processors. Other than that, it's something different. Yeah, it's a G5. I think G5 uses PowerPC processors. It's got wireless internet. This thing fully functions, by the way, except this fan kind of cycles up and down. It speeds up and slows down, so I might have to replace that. It's got DDR400 memory, 256 megabyte chips, and two 512 chips, but for some reason the PC only recognizes it, or the computer only recognizes it as having a gigabyte. I go into system information, it says, oh, you have, 4 256 meg chips. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I'm going to have to find a workaround for that. So yeah, I'm going to get this thing up and going and sell it for about $100 with iOS 10.5 on it, which is a pretty sweet deal, I guess. So I think that's going to be actually truly it for this video. I really don't know what more there is to mention. I'm forgetting at least 3 or 4 desktop PCs have come in and out of here in the past while. Some of them might have been interesting, but I can't remember what they are, so, or if there are any. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much it. Well, I must say that I haven't been getting a whole lot of desktops lately. I've been averaging 1 or 2 a week, so yeah. But anyway, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it won't take a month and a half. But yeah, bye.